of the BJP, and Professor Rajiv Gowda, the state spokesperson of the Congress. Professor Gowda, I'd like to start with you. You were smiling a couple of days ago and saying that, the Congress is going to win hands down in Karnataka. Are you still smiling?
Yeah, I'm not the only one smiling. The people of Karnataka are smiling too.
Okay.
It's a new dawn.
Okay. Ajit Sai, is it a victory by default for the Congress in Karnataka, or at least is that how it's going to be?
Well, I think we are still 3 days from the counting of the votes, and let the results come in. But quite obviously, I mean, it has been very clear for several weeks and perhaps months that the BJP has lost a lot of ground and support that it had gained 5 years ago. It had been on an upward trajectory for 2 consecutive elections. But what happened in 2013 is that because the BJP has seen 3 chief ministers, a lot of corruption scandals, and therefore it seems to have lost a lot of support, ground support, especially with the rebellion of the former chief minister Yeddy.
BJP is clearly hurting right now, Vinod Sharma, but what is it that that is hurting them the most? Is it the dissidents within the party? We've seen 3 chief ministers in the span of 5 years, or is it corruption, or what exactly is it?
It is never one factor when a party that is as formidable as the BJP crumbles, or a party as formidable as the Congress crumbles. There is never one factor, and I think this is a combination of factors. Of course, the foremost amongst these factors, according to me, were the internal dissensions. They were pulling apart. They saw three chief ministers, as was just pointed out. And besides that, at one stage, it was very apparent that the constitutional scheme machinery in Karnataka under Yedurappa had broken down. Because the way the Bellari brothers were calling the shots. The chief minister would order transfers. They, by virtue of their political pressure, would have them rolled back. They got the levy withdrawn, which was imposed on R&R. So a whole lot of such things brought the BJP regime down in popular esteem. Mind you, Karnataka is a state which isn't comparable with less developed states at all, by virtue of public consciousness, by virtue of aspirations there, and by virtue of their literacy levels. So it was the mecca of IT industry. And look what has happened to Bangalore today. Bangalore is a city which is becoming eminently unlivable. While there was at one stage competition between Bangalore and Hyderabad as to which was better.
Certainly.
So I think that a whole lot of factors have contributed. But I would come back to the question you posed to Sahi, that whether it is a victory by default. Well, of course, victories are by default, even in cricket. If the bowlers are bowling badly and the batsmen are doing well, you'll say, oh, our batsmen, but bowlers didn't bowl well, so they won. I mean, it doesn't work that way. No? So you must concede, if somebody wins, he wins because somebody is reposing faith, even by default, or going on a rebound, It happens between man and wife, sometimes they come to each other on a rebound.
You spoke about victory by default, but the problem really, Professor Nalapad, for the Congress is, if and when they win, who will their chief ministerial candidate be? We'll see some dissidents within the Congress then.
Well, unless the Congress High Command has already made up its mind, but it's not revealing its mind. I mean, I've just come back from Karnataka, and the feeling there is that it could be Siddaramaiah, it could be Mallikarjun Kharge, it could be Parameshwara, or it could be neither of these, none of these 3. The point that I need to make here is that the Karnataka election is very much a state-based election. There has been an effort by some leaders, for example, Mr. Narendra Modi, to try and convert it into a national referendum. But because it's a state-based election, I think the BJP is on the back foot. The fact is the BJP government in Karnataka, if it's possible, is even less popular than the Manmohan Singh government of the centre.
Okay.
Professor Nalapad, if I could ask you this, we talked about the Congress right now. Even if it is a victory by default, they didn't have all their ducks in a row at the beginning of campaigning. S.M. Krishna came out and said that he wasn't really happy with the seat selection and who was given tickets and whatnot. But 2 days later, we see him basically okay with the whole setup. Do you think they have their complete party? There is no infighting there. Do you think there is one united and unified leadership, even if they do win and get enough seats to form a simple majority? Do you think it will be easy for them to actually get behind one leader and present one face to the public?
Well, I think it will be easy for simple reason that in the Congress party, decisions get taken at Delhi. And Delhi, there's a very, very clear leadership for the Congress party, and there's no dispute at all about that leadership. Coming back to Mr. Krishna, now I remember in the previous election, M.V. Rajshekharan, who was a Lingayat leader, was removed as Minister of State just before the previous Karnataka election. Now he was a Lingayat, and that sent a very negative signal to Lingayat community. My own personal view is that the removal of S.M. Krishna as External Affairs Minister, for whatever reason, is not going to be helpful to the Congress in this election, and in fact may play into the hands of Mr. Deve Gowda, who may emerge as the kingmaker because of a consolidation of Okaliga votes, the community to which Mr. Krishna belongs.
Well, Deve Gowda might emerge as the kingmaker, and that's what he'll be hoping for. Clearly, the JDS is not going to win the seats alone or by itself, of course. But would the BJP or the Congress want an alliance with the JDS? That's the real question, isn't it, Ajit? Because they've been bitten once already by the JDS in the past, and once bitten, twice shy.
Well, as we know, in politics, there are no permanent enemies, not any permanent friends. There are only permanent interests. See, ultimately, it will all entirely depend on the numbers that are available. If the Congress manages anything which has been bandied about 110, and we will shortly have, you will bring up your exit poll. But if they have something like 110, then I don't think that they will need too many extras beyond that. And I think
probably even 100, because they can make do with independence then.
Sure, absolutely. I think what is important, as Professor Nalapat spoke about and Vinod spoke about earlier, the important thing is that the fact that Yedurappa, BJP will definitely hurt from Yedurappa, because they make up for something like 17 to 18% of the total population, total electoral, the electors in the state. And they are, and it is believed that about 40% of the Lingayats had voted for the BJP the last time.
Let's bring in Sudhanshu Mittal as well, leader of the BJP, into the picture right now. Sudhanshu, if the BJP loses come May 8th, would you be regretting the fact that Yedurappa was given stepmotherly treatment and then he in fact walked out of the party, and that certainly is going to hurt you in these polls?
Firstly, I would really not like to be preemptive about what is going to happen and what is not going to happen. My only desire as a political entity would be that let the people of Karnataka give a decisive mandate. Look, if you look at the history, we've had a coalition government in the state for far too long. And these coalitions are not natural coalitions. Be it JDS, BJP coalition, or be it the shortage BJP had in terms of acquiring a majority. After subsequent to that, a lot of maneuvers were required to have a continuous government. So this kind of a political instability is never good for a state. So my first request to all the people in Karnataka would be, please give your decisive mandate to whoever you choose.
Right, Mr. Mittal, Mr. Mittal, we also have Narayanaswamy, leader of the JDS, with us. If I could go straight to him, Mr. Narayanaswamy, we heard Mr. Yedurappa earlier in the day saying that he will not be kingmaker, he will be king. Now that, of course, remains to be seen. But when it comes to the JDS and your leader, Mr. Kumaraswamy, you are, of course, very strong in the old Mysore area, and you hope to get enough seats to, in fact, play some kind of a role in a post-poll scenario. What are your predictions really about the performance of your party? Are you confident that at least you'll get enough to actually play a constructive part in the formation of the next government?
The achievement of JDS government when Mr. Kumaraswamy was Chief Minister in Karnataka was very appreciable, and the way electioneering took place in Karnataka in the election held today, we are highly hopeful of mustering a very good support from the people of Karnataka.
Okay. You say when Kumaraswamy was in power, when he was the Chief Minister, his rule was appreciable. I definitely don't think several people would agree with that, because we saw a lot of trouble in Karnataka. There was no stable government in Karnataka. There was always bickering and constant infighting and fighting between the parties as well. So, I mean, was Kumaraswamy's rule in Karnataka really appreciable, Vinod Sharma?
Well, you see, if you see Kumaraswamy in certain surveys as the most popular choice as Chief Minister, he figures higher than Yedurappa, he figures higher than S.M. Krishna and Siddaramaiah. And interestingly, S.M. Krishna figures at the lowest, despite being a leader of the Vokaligas. Perhaps it's his age, perhaps also the fact that, look, you said that Yedurappa was maltreated by his party. I disagree. 2 chief ministers were given at his bidding. Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal was chief minister at his bidding. Thereafter, Mr. Jagdish Shettar was the chief minister at his bidding. It was his decision to once nominate a Vocaliga and then at another point nominate a Lingayat that has caused a fissure between the Vocaligas and the Lingayats, who are traditionally in recent years having entire Congress. These 2 elite communities of Karnataka. So, you know, these are the contradictions, these are the imponderables for whom we are seeking answers, and we'll get these answers shortly, another few days on the 8th, you know. And I am myself wanting to know which way the Vocaligas and the Lingayats will go, because Congress per se has no Lingayat, no Vocaliga leader. Even Mr. S.M. Krishna, though he has been chief minister and he has been a Vocaliga leader, I think he's past his prime.
Okay.
I mean, one doesn't take away from his contribution, but at the same time, I think that as chief minister, in surveys, he hasn't come out as the first choice or the second or even the third choice of the electorate.
Okay. Rakesh Sinha, has the Yedurappa factor really hurt the BJP's chances in Karnataka?
Before coming to the question, pre-exit poll is smiling in this studio. All 3 co-panelists are smiling more than the Congress is smiling. I am surprised that you are looking this election from the factor of the caste equations and other factors. This election is very important from other perspectives.
Okay, what is
the
that
BJP has done moral consolidation of the party. It was knowing that if it is expelling the Yedurappa from the party, the most popular leader among the Lingayat community, it is going to hurt the party. A big base, social base of the BJP will be departed from the party.
But sir, you didn't have a choice. Mr. Yedurappa was not very happy.
Let me complete what I want to say. It expelled the Yedurappa and it tried to compromise, negotiate with Yedurappa, but after a certain extent, the party realized that it is better to have a moral consolidation of the party and losing the election, the coming election, rather than going for the victory in the election.
Vinod Sharma is smiling. I'm sure he has something interesting to say.
This is a major thing which one wants to
hold on.
I know my friend Sinha doesn't like me smiling, so I'm now laughing. You know,
no, you laugh. Before exit poll, people are smiling. Look, this is very important thing in the national politics. The party is, if party is losing in Karnataka, it is losing not voluntarily. Because the party is going to reconsolidate its base, and it will get back the Lingayat votes.
So you concede that the party is
going to do. I'm not assuming your smiles. Smile in the.
Are you saying you will smile after the polls are over?
No, I don't believe that Congress is going to get the majority in the House. I think the BJP is going to do well in the.
But do you believe the Congress will be a single largest party?
People of Karnataka are not fooled that they are going to choose Congress, and they know the misgovernance of the Congress, factual ridden Congress, and I think. I also contest this point that there is no development in Karnataka and Bangalore is not a livable place. Okay. Kindly compare it with any city of the country. Bangalore has developed. Enough development has taken place in Bangalore. Only thing is that there is enough attack and magnifying glass on the BJP government. Wherever there is a BJP government, there is a big section of intelligentsia and the media which is looking at everything from magnifying glass.
What about right-wing moral policing? Bangalore is a victim of that also.
Which right-wing? I don't think that is connected with the BJP and RSS. In the 100 crore population, there are certain people something doing. You cannot impose it on the RSS or BJP ideology.
First of all, I think I would request my friend Sinha to desist from mocking at others who are having a discussion with him, because I think the ground rules should be very clear. I mean, we are here to listen to each other and answer that in a very, very incisive and very, very sober way. So if somebody is smiling, smiling is not being abusive, isn't it? And I think a smile brings a lot of happiness and, you know, enlivens the atmosphere.
I was just saying that smile. The way you, before exit polls, I was not mocking. It was not a mocking. I'm sorry that if you feel that it was mocking, then I'm sorry.
No, I have a question for you. I have a question for you for what he said. He was talking about how right-wing activists were not involved. Okay, Bangalore has not seen too much of it, but let's talk about coastal Karnataka. We saw the church attacks in 2008. Who carried it out? It was the Bajrang Dal. We saw the rave parties of coastal Karnataka, of course, at St. Mary's Island. What happened there? It was a tourism party that they had organized where drugs and sex saw center stage. The tourism party was organized by the state government itself.
No, I tell you one thing. Look, There are elements which the RSS says they have nothing to do with these elements. Ram Sen and they said we have nothing to do with it. Let's take them for their word. But the fact remains that all these years, and here Mr. Sinha has no reason to disagree, even one says, if one says it smilingly, that it was the BJP which was in power. And you see, the Christians were under attack, the Muslims were under attack, the young people of Karnataka were under attack. And may I tell you one thing, most humbly may I say, regardless of which government was in power, I would be the first person personally to have opposed it, because it sullied the very good name of Karnataka internationally. Karnataka was a place which was a gravitational pull, which was a magnet for foreign investment.
Sudhanshu Mittal has something to say. Go ahead, Sudhanshu.
I am so amazed. What is happening is we are trivializing this entire discussion by virtue of not being objective, but addressing this issue through a bias which we have been carried in the garb of freelance journalism. What the hell are we talking about? What attacks are we talking about? What criminalization are we talking about?
So we are talking about moral policing, right-wing moral policing happening in Karnataka.
Allow me to finish. Sir, allow me to finish. Is it a monologue I have to get into?
Please finish, sir.
Moral policing. I see double standards, triple standards now in this country, not only in the polity but also the media. I mean, here is a case of Aligarh Muslim University where the Vice Chancellor says only sherwanis and nothing else. Nobody raises an objection to that. Nobody says, why can't I come in pants? Nobody says, why can't I come in dhotis? Here, you are talking about moral policing. This is a system which is not akin, this was not an issue akin to the governance of the state. We are bringing in extraneous issues just to talk about the mandate which the people are giving. The people have not even considered these issues. What were the issues before the people? The issues before the people was, what is the overall national climate in terms of governance? What is the climate of the state in terms of governance? There were serious issues about unity and disunity in the BJP. There were issues about corruption. There were issues about groupism in Congress. There were issues about the conduct of JDS. So the issues related to the conduct of the parties and their leadership, it had nothing to do with what we are talking.
So
and look, in the what are we trying to? Can anybody tell me that in this election was moral policing an issue? No.
Okay.
But what are you
sir,
trying to debate here?
I take your point. I mean, moral policing is not an issue. Other issues are issues. Let's talk about them. Let's talk about other issues, sir. Mr. Yeddy comes on television today and he says that the BJP, of course, is going down. He thinks that he is going to be king. The veracity of that we'll have to wait and see. But most opinions, or the people on the ground, they say there's a huge anti-incumbency factor against the BJP government that has ruled for the past 5 years in Karnataka. Would you at least admit that there is a huge anti-incumbency against BJP? Would you at least admit that?
Let me address this issue now. As far as Mr. Yedurappa is concerned, what else do you expect him to say? He is naturally going to say, I'm going to the king. Fair deal. Okay, let's see what happens on 8th. As far as incumbency and anti-incumbency is concerned, let's wait for the people's mandate. I would bow my head before the people's mandate.
Fine, fair enough.
Now, certainly people had reasons. Allow me. Certainly people had issues with the BJP. No government which seems to be having internal dissensions or which seems to be emboldened in the issues of corruption is certainly to the liking of people. That's a natural fact. I mean, it's not a fact anybody can deny.
Right.
Now, we tried to correct this at every stage. That is the exact reason why Yedurappa was removed.
We take your point, sir.
He was requested to step down. So the issue is, as far as BJP was concerned, allow me, as far as BJP was concerned, it tried to address all issues of governance with utmost sincerity.
Okay, we take your point, fair point, sir. I think we need to move on to other guests also now. Meenakshi Lekhi, senior BJP leader, has joined us as well. Many thanks, Ms. Lekhi, for joining us. You heard what your colleague Sudhanshu Mittal had to say, and he seems to be disagreeing with the majority view on the panel. That he says there is no anti-incumbency. He says the BJP government in the past 5 years performed admirably, but it looks like the BJP...
I have not said that. I have not said that. You are putting words in my mouth.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Sudhanshu, let's go back to something that you were talking about a short while ago. For the benefit of those of you who could not hear,
I have
what
said
Sudhanshu
we
Mittal
did
was
try
saying
to address the issues.
Yes,
now
yes.
it is for the people to judge whether we succeeded or not.
All right. What he was saying was moral policing is not an issue. It was not an issue before the people went to polls. So let's not talk about moral policing. Ajit, respond to that.
Really, I mean, why would any, see, it is not moral policing. It is the failure of the state government, the state apparatus, the police, the prosecution to bring, you see, what the moral policing was, basically a criminal action under the Indian Penal Code. The state government should have taken action against all those people. There has no action been taken until now. Is the state government not culpable for it? Is the state government not responsible for it?
The state government took all action.
Let him finish, please. Let him finish.
As Vinod rightly said earlier, it's never one issue. But how can you say that this thing is not at all an issue?
Certainly. No, but yeah.
Ajit ji, you are falsifying facts. Ajit ji, do not falsify facts. The state government took action against everybody who took law in their own hands. And that is why this was not an issue before the electorate.
Really,
So
by
in a
jailing Surinje, the journalist who actually exposed it, you put in jail, you put in Surinje, the journalist who exposed it. Come on, the homestay attack,
Gentlemen.
Naveen Surinje was put in jail. He is the man who exposed it.
This is the falsification of the facts. I am just giving one example.
Very quickly, yeah.
During one regime, Anjuman was disturbing the Christian church, attacking the Christian church. There was a whole propaganda that it is the RSS and BJP is doing. Later on, it was found that there is an organization. Anjuman was doing that. I think this is moral policing is not important. Here, the most important factor which you are not taking account that the moral consolidation by the BJP. Moral consolidation. No party in the country has done such moral consolidation at the eve of the election.
I have tremendous. At times I've admired Sudhanshu's political analysis, and I think he's got a very incisive mind. But may I very humbly tell him, Sudhanshu, attacking somebody who's celebrating Valentine's Day or Christmas or whatever, is attacking the way of life he prefers. And there cannot be a greater outrage against an individual than these kind of attacks. And I don't understand, I cannot agree with you very humbly that these attacks are not an issue in coastal Karnataka. If these attacks are not an issue in coastal Karnataka, then I do not know why all these journalists who have been there are writing about it.
All right.
I mean, all of them can't go wrong, no? Right.
All right. Meenakshi Lekhi, your thoughts, of course. Sudhanshu Mittal is saying that moral policing is not an issue as far as Karnataka polls are concerned. It might not be an issue all over Karnataka, but in pockets of Karnataka, it still is a very major issue.
I'm sorry, you see, I think you said why are journalists writing about it? I think that answer has to come from those journalists who are writing about it, because even in the past our experience with many journalists has been very strange, because they act very strangely, write their opinions as facts, and which is what is happening even on the panel.
And that can be said of
panel,
politicians
I've heard
also.
Some people, I don't know their names, but I'm sorry, Mr. Would you allow me to finish?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
intervene, and
Please,
you
please
have
go
a
ahead.
right to your point of view.
Please go
I
ahead.
have a right to my point of view.
Please go ahead.
My point of view is two. One, I heard somebody saying that no action was taken against the people who were indulging in some illegal actions which are offences under IPC. The state home minister himself flew down, reached that area, not flew but traveled to that area. Action was taken immediately, and that was shown and announced even on certain TV channels. So this is an opinion which is an incorrect opinion, number one. Number two, when you talk about the acts which are actually given to Ram Sene, then on record I'm putting it that Ram Sene contested elections against BJP in Karnataka. Now don't link those acts to BJP. That's number two. Number three, when you talk about Yedurappa in connection with Pawan Bansal, then I think whatever is happening in the country, whether it's Pakistanis, it's Chinese, it's Bansal, it's 2G, it's CWG, it's coal scan, everything is going to have an impact on this election, because most people in Karnataka are not illiterate who can be bought and by giving some sari and liquor, but it's a mostly majority is a literate population, at least in the cities and all.
Okay.
Rest of it, we tried to correct and make amends to our actions. I think even that should bring some results, and we are awaiting the result.
All right. Professor Nalapat, of course, are the people of Karnataka really that concerned about corruption? Because the general perception is that all politicians are corrupt, but at least if we get something in return from politicians, then we might as well elect those politicians.
Well, there's no doubt that corruption is a major issue, because the simple fact that the people realize that the more corrupt a government is, the less services they give to the people. And the reality is that the Indian people are now really quite upset over the very poor quality of services that they're getting from government. But I'd like to return to this question of moral policing, while agreeing totally with Ms. Lekhi that the Sri Ram Sene had nothing to do with the BJP. I would like to say that I think this moral policing, especially in Dakshin Kannada, has had an impact on the electorate. It's had an impact on young people, and it's had an impact on the city vote, because young people in the city vote are fairly liberal and they don't like this kind of moral policing. So I think, of course, police action has been taken against them, but quite definitely the Congress has also been successful in pinning this moral policing on the BJP, however unfairly.
All right.
Right. Now, the old Mysore region is crucial in the Karnataka polls. It will determine the destiny of six-time MLA and former Deputy Chief Minister Sudhanshu, the man tipped to be Karnataka's next CM if the Congress makes a comeback. Yeddyurappa's Karnataka Janata Party has put up a lightweight, his former private assistant, Kapu Siddha Lingaswamy in the constituency. Varuna has over 40,000 Lingayats, and the BJP is trying to capture that vote bank by fronting a Lingayat named Mahendra, the chairperson of the Karnataka Exhibition Authority.
Response I get. You see, I've covered almost all 200 assembly constituencies so far. In all the places, response is more than expectation. Even compared to all India leaders, they addressed public meetings. Even then, public used to gather large number of publics in my public meetings. So it shows that people are supporting KJP like anything, and particularly youngsters and Muslims are supporting us. And on that basis, I can say 100%. I will be the single largest party in this election. I will form the government.
How is your travel from Kamala to coconut, sir, your latest party symbol?
Kamala is gone, you know, minus Yeddyurappa, Kamala party is zero. And this coconut party we have introduced in the state, Karnataka Janata Party, KJP, and people are supporting us like anything.
So you hope to emerge as the single largest party, or you can form the government on your own, sir?
Like 100%, my party will be the single largest party, and afterwards definitely I will be the king.
Not the kingmaker?
Impossible. I will be the king.
So what will be your future plans for the KJP, sir?
You see, after this result, I will go to Delhi to meet all India regional party leaders and also chief ministers. I will discuss with them about the political situation in Karnataka, and also can we think about third front in the entire country. It all depends upon the other leaders how they are going to respond.
Will you join Congress-led coalition, sir, at centre?
It is too early to say anything, but I will wait up to 8th. Afterwards, I will come back to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
You have crisscrossed the state for the past 15-20 days, and how do you see the BJP's prospects in this election?
BJP's prospects have improved a lot, and in last 2 months, because we have put forth the leadership and we have espoused our development in front of the people, and thirdly, the ticket distribution of Bharatiya Janata Party has been very smooth.
This is the first time that Karnataka is seeing a four-cornered contest. So don't you think that it will affect the BJP's prospects, because there is a breakaway group also contesting the elections this time?
I see in parts a triangular contest. If not, it's a straight contest between Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress. In some of the parts, like old Mysore area, it's a triangular contest. Congress will definitely reject the C and D parties of the Congress.
Well, it's just past 6 p.m. in the evening. Of course, voting has come to a close in Karnataka. And now, of course, that's the end of voting in this single-phase poll in Karnataka. Of course, the results of which will be declared from the morning of Wednesday, which is about 2 days from now. and of course the voter turnout seems to be the same as almost last time around at 65% or so. At 5 p.m. it was just above the 60% mark. It remains to be seen what the final figure is. We are still awaiting those details, of course, at the time being, and we will be presenting our exit poll figures as well very shortly. So do stay tuned, and we will take you through those numbers as well over the next half an hour or so and tell you what exactly is the situation in Karnataka. Now, the NewsX Sea Voter exit poll in Karnataka, the most accurate assessment of how voters voted in Karnataka, will tell you which party is going to be swept to power in the state, who the state's new chief minister will be, and much, much more. The ruling BJP, its main opponent, the Congress, and the JDS of former Prime Minister H.D. Devegowda are the key players, and Yeddyrappa of the KJP will certainly have something to say as far as these polls are concerned. He's hoping to be the king and not just a kingmaker. But we here, of course, believe or predict that he, at best, might just be the spoiler for the BJP in Karnataka.
All right, so the polls have closed in Karnataka. 6 o'clock. It's turned 6 o'clock. The election, the first major election of the year in the country, Karnataka, is now over. We give you, in fact, the Election Commission will shortly be telling us, giving us a preliminary idea as to what the voter turnout has been. Remember, last time around in 2008, Bangalore had a voter turnout of a disappointing 48%. This time, we don't know what Bangalore is voting like right now, but overall in Karnataka at 5 p.m., it was about 60 to 61% voter turnout. Ajit Sahi, what clue, if any, can we get from this voter turnout as to which way the people of Karnataka are thinking?
Well, high voter turnout is always representative of the people probably preferring a change in the way things have been. And because
is this a high voter turnout?
Well, yes, certainly 60%.
It's 60% at 5 p.m. So the final thing will be a little bit more than 60%.
Well, we've been reading some of the news on the internet.
But last time, Ajit, it was at 65%, close to 66%. So
certainly.
there's a drop. There's a considerable drop, maybe even 5% or 10% drop.
Yeah.
Well, it still is very high, and the voting is still to close because the Election Commission has extended voting.
It's closed now.
Oh, sorry, voting is closed now. It was extended till 6 o'clock. The figures would be coming in now, I think. The fact is that the last time there was more than unusual interest of the people in the elections in 2008 because previously there had been we had seen 3 governments. And the election had fallen, the governments had fallen because of betrayal by one party on two occasions. I think this time also the people are showing a great amount of interest. 60% is not a bad percentage in terms of the voting turnout.
Right.
And I think that reflects the will of the people to seek some change.
Okay, yeah, but very quickly, Vinod, before we move on to talking about a few other things, as Frank was saying, the ultimate voter turnout is likely to be a little bit less than last time round. Can we safely conclude that there's likely not to be a wave in this election?
No, you see, may I tell you one thing? Last time, I'm not going to rely on these figures at all, because I must get the final figures from the Election Commission. Many times this has happened that the percentage we calculate at the closure of the poll is not the same what is calculated by Election Commission. So it might well be higher, slightly higher, or the same, or a little less. But last time, it was the sympathy wave for Yeddyrappa that drew people out. And because the Lingayats were consolidated as one behind him, they also carried other communities because they are the social elite in Karnataka. So that could be one reason. But to say that 60% plus is not a good vote, I think it's a good vote. And also, I take note of the fact that people, despite all the skepticism about the political class, people are making the election more representative and also more participatory, because there is greater questioning between 2 elections by the people now.
Right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we've been talking a lot about, how the BJP is on the back foot in Karnataka. In this section, for the next 10 minutes or so, let's have a look at what might help the Saffron Party stage a comeback in Karnataka. Narendra Modi tops the list. He may have campaigned on only one day, but his charisma appears to have swept a sizable amount of votes for the party, or so the BJP is claiming. We're just going to now play out you what exactly happened during the campaign trail as far as Modi is concerned, and then we'll do a comparison with Rahul. Rahul was also in the campaign trail. Modi versus Rahul coming up, but first have a look at this.
Was the Namo mantra for Karnataka too little, too late? Modi chose to address just one campaign meet in Karnataka, that too in Bengaluru, a city notorious for its low voter percentages. Some say, had Modi been unleashed on Karnataka's voters a little earlier and at more rallies, BJP may have had a face saver. But here's why the popularity of the Gujarat Chief Minister finds resonance in Karnataka as well. One, the urban educated middle class voter, disenchanted with an indecisive UPA, is drawn towards Modi's firm and no-nonsense style of governance. Two, Modi's spin doctors have perfected the art of packaging and presenting him as a charismatic, incorruptible leader. Three, Modi has worked hard on his oratorial skills, infusing his biting sarcasm with details of his economic miracles. But let's see if his charisma and Gujarat's development model are enough to dazzle the audience in Karnataka. Bureau Report, NewsX.
Senior Congress leader Rita Bahuguna Joshi now joins us on the show. Rita Bahuguna Joshi, Narendra Modi said during the election campaign in Karnataka that every form of government is in Delhi. The CBI is also in Delhi. However, is Delhi safe and secure? If the Congress cannot manage Delhi, how will they manage Karnataka? What is your response to that?
Well, let's understand one thing very clearly, that every state election is fought on regional issues and state issues. And central issues have not influenced much when a choice for a state government has to be made. We have seen this in Bengal, in UP, in Bihar, in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, everywhere. So now let us please clearly understand that this is a state election. Now the people are extremely disenchanted with the BJP government, whether it was their governance, whether it was corruption, or whether it was, you know, their policy towards the Muslims or the Christians, or you could say even towards the youngsters, where they wanted some moral policing to happen.
Narendra Modi put a very direct pose up. He said that you're presiding over various scams in Delhi. Delhi itself is not secure. So what are you accusing the BJP in Karnataka of?
I'm not accusing anybody. What I'm saying is, he tried to shift the focus from state to center, and that will not work. You will see when the results come. People are going to evaluate the government which they had elected with 49% votes. 49% votes, can you imagine? BJP going in 1999
we saw Rahul Gandhi. We saw Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi extensively campaign across Karnataka. They extensively campaigned. Rahul Gandhi, in fact, campaigned at 9 districts in Karnataka, whereas he was a no-show in Gujarat. He campaigned only on one day in Gujarat. But when it came to Karnataka, because probably the party thinks that it's a foregone conclusion, so let's project Rahul Gandhi there in the front and then credit Rahul Gandhi with the win as well. That seems to be your strategy.
See, it's always for the state organization to request the leaders to come to their state. Now, if Gujarat leadership did not invite him enough, it is a separate issue. If the Karnataka leadership...
Oh, come on, Rita Bahuguna Joshi. What do you mean if the Gujarat state unit to the Congress didn't invite Rahul Gandhi? Rahul Gandhi doesn't need an invitation from his state unit. He can give an instruction.
Rahul Gandhi is one person, please.
Mrs. Joshi, I think that's a poor excuse.
Rahul Gandhi is one person who never goes by victory or loss. He went to Bihar, he went to Bengal, he went to UP.
Vinod Sharma, do you buy that argument? Do you buy that
argument? Rahul Gandhi has never associated victory or loss with his campaign. He has always gone whenever he has been invited.
You see, my point is that I don't know what...
He came to UP, to Bihar, to Bengal. How can you say this? It's not like that.
That's probably also because the Congress has not done well. That's probably also because the Congress has not done very well in West Bengal, UP and Bihar.
I mean, I think that Ms. Baguna's argument is very laboured.
Sudhanshu, we are coming to you in a bit.
We're just coming to Sudhanshu. 1 minute. We're just coming to Sudhanshu. Vinod Sharma.
It's a very laboured argument.
Don't associate his campaign with victories or losses.
1 minute, Mr. Joshi will come back to you, Vinod.
I think it's a very laboured campaign. You see, in Gujarat, insofar as my assessment is concerned, the Congress had contested the election to contain Modi, not to defeat Modi. And it made a lot of sense in view of that strategy that they were not fielding the prominent face very often in that election. But I think that, you know, this emphasis that you people are laying and many other people within the BJP have laid on Mr. Modi's campaigning in Karnataka is not good for Mr. Modi. Because if the party is defeated, Modi loses that, that image of being a magic wand. You know, you take him wherever you take him and he'll touch it and everything will turn gold. It doesn't work that way. It is not fair to Modi. I disapprove of many things about Modi, but to say that he'll make 2 visits to Karnataka and he'll make the party's fortune turn around, it doesn't work that way. You see, it is a defeat of BJP. If it's going to be a defeat, it will be a defeat of BJP. If it is going to be a victory, it is going to be a victory of the Congress. We can go on endlessly arguing.
I'll tell you what, until from the Congress, you're talking about the BJP. Let's put the spotlight on the BJP as well now. Sudhanshu Mittal from the BJP, when Rahul Gandhi was campaigning in Karnataka, he said, BJP leaders who have built the Reddy brothers, they've taken their money and they're responsible for corruption in Karnataka, and they go to the rest of the country and talk about corruption. What do you say to that, Sudhanshu Mittal?
Look who's talking about corruption. It's so laughable. The most blatant form of corruption as witnessed day before yesterday and yesterday seems to be endorsed by nothing less than the entire high command of Congress. And when they talk about corruption, it becomes really laughable.
Yeah, but who's better than the other? You've been accused of corruption in Karnataka. The Congress is accused of alleged corruption in Delhi. What is there to choose from?
Janjar, allow me to complete. Allow me to complete.
Go ahead.
So it's so laughable. The issue is, what is the credibility of the individual who's talking? Now, here is a man who makes guest appearances. See, you have to understand about leadership. Leadership is when you fight and when you lead from the front.
No, Sudhanshu, you're talking about guest appearances. You're talking about guest appearances.
Allow me, please. Allow me to speak, please. So, here is a man who's at the helm of affairs. Modi is not at the helm of affairs of BJP yet. I would not use this argument when Modi is given formal charge of BJP in terms of its campaign, and then he shies away from the campaign. I would accuse him of doing the same. But when Mr. Rahul Gandhi is made the vice president...
I have to ask you a question. Sudhanshu.
All right, I think
in politics it is de facto, not de jure, yeah?
I think Vinod Sharma has an interesting question for Sudhanshu.
Sudhanshu,
go ahead.
He's a friend of mine. Sudhanshu, I mean, in politics it is de facto, not de jure. So let us talk about de facto situation.
Exactly that.
Isn't Mr. Modi your de facto candidate for the prime ministership?
Allow me to clarify that he's still not de facto.
Wow. Oh, huh?
He's still not de facto.
But the party chief invites him to the party jamburi, makes everybody stand up. It never used to happen with Vajpayee.
Jagdish Shettar said that.
It never used to happen with Vajpayee, Sudhanshu. I mean, you make people stand up. I mean, you are a party of equals, but when he enters the National Executive, National Council meeting, everybody stands up and applauds the man.
I don't think you have seen. I don't think you have seen the culture of BJP in terms of how we respect our leaders.
You shouldn't accuse me of that. Sudhanshu, you shouldn't accuse me of that.
Not just Advani, even when Advani ji used to come, even when Kushab Bhav ji used to come, even when Sundar Singh Bhandari used to come, even when Rajasthan Chief Minister used to come, they commanded the same respect. So let's not measure all this. Let's not trivialize the impact of leadership by such gestures. What are we discussing in Karnataka? We are discussing that Karnataka is a case where people have to decide as to how they felt about the BJP and its government. And as we began this discussion with, is it out of default that there is going to be a change of government? Because this election revolves around the assessment of people in terms of how they will assess the performance of government of BJP in Karnataka.
Right.
The infighting, what do they think about it? The allegations of corruption, what do they think about it? So in all, they will judge the performance of the government of BJP in Karnataka and decide. So this is what the issue is. Let's be objective about it. Let's not bring in the Rahul Gandhis and let's not bring in the Modis or anybody of that kind, because They were not the principal players in this election.
Right. Okay. I'll tell you what, Sudhanshu. Let's talk about the principal players now. Let's talk about the principal players. In fact, by the way, we have this B.S. Gyan Desikan, Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress. Mr. Gyan Desikan, we just come to you in 2 minutes. Before that, let's talk about the key players. Sudhanshu Mittal is saying that people like Rahul Gandhi, perhaps even Narendra Modi, have not been the key players in Karnataka. But B.S. Yedurappa has been. In fact, he's saying that he's confident of winning over there. He said today that he's not going to be a kingmaker. He's going to be king in Karnataka. What is this B.S. Yedurappa factor? Let's look into it, then we'll debate him.
Gowda become the chief minister, then he can also be a king.
Yeah. That he will be a king. But actually, except a pocket in Shimoga region, except a pocket in Shimoga region, hello?
Hold on, Mr. Gyan Desikan.
Except a pocket in Shimoga region.
We're going to show our viewers something on B.S. Yedurappa. Let's play the story on B.S. Yedurappa. We'll come back to a debate in 1.5 minutes.
B.S. Yedurappa. Like him or hate him, but you just cannot ignore him. His Karnataka Janata Party is not expected to fare well in the assembly elections. Yet, the BSY factor never fails to figure in every political discussion on Karnataka elections. Yedurappa is the man who led the Bharatiya Janata Party to its first ever government in South India. After a spate of corruption charges against him in 2011, he was asked to step down as chief minister. Now, Yedurappa's career may have floundered, but his confidence that his detractors read as arrogance never has. And he has vowed to be the nemesis for BJP.
Very weak. Without Yedurappa, BJP is zero. That is the result they are going to face. On the 8th result will shows everything.
With his Karnataka Janata Party, Yedurappa believes he will be crowned king of Karnataka on May 8th.
My party will be the single largest party, and afterwards definitely I will be the king.
But analysts believe he can be kingmaker at best or spoiler at worst. The Karnataka Janata Party might not win many seats in the 225-member assembly, but it is expected to divide the votes of Yedurappa's powerful Lingayat community. The Lingayat community, being the stronghold of the BJP, is enough to cost the BJP some vital seats, much to the advantage of the Congress. Bureau Report, NewsX.
B.S. Gyan Desikan, Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress, of course, is joining us on the show right now. Mr. Gyan Desikan, Yedurappa certainly says that he's going to be the king, but political analysts have written him off. They have said that he's not going to be the king. At best, he's going to be a spoiler in Karnataka. But does the Congress want to keep him close to his chest? So because maybe at some point in time, he may be a part of the Congress and maybe a Congress alliance post-poll.
No, neither he will be a king nor a kingmaker, because according to my assessment as far as Karnataka is concerned, he is a small pockets of Shimoga. Except that, I don't think he will get more seats in the entire state of Karnataka. That apart, this time the Congress 80 seats last time the Congress got, and this time the Congress has improved its margin because of the hard work the Congress leadership and the leaders did in Karnataka. They will get not only a negative votes of BJP but also positive vote in favor of Congress. So one thing you talk about Rahul Ji's affair, and you are referring about Bahuguna Ji. Rahul Gandhi has visited Karnataka, and every state according to the need, according to the circumstances, according to the security concern, according to the basic things.
Mr. Gyan Desikan,
central leadership.
let's not go back to what we already discussed. I think the basic point that was being made was that the Congress was losing Gujarat, so you didn't send Rahul Gandhi there. You appear to be winning Karnataka, so you pitchforked him over there. But let's not talk about that. Let's move forward over here. We're talking about B.S. Yedurappa. Professor Madhav Nalapat, Yedurappa says today to NewsX that I don't want to be kingmaker, I want to be king. The question is, what if he ends up being neither?
Well, the fact is that Yedurappa was king, and the poor man has been wanting to be king.
According to me.
Look, he was king and he wants to be king again. So the poor man has been
neither a king nor a kingmaker.
He was chief minister of the state, and I define that as a king. Possibly you don't. But the fact of the matter is that in my personal view, he is unlikely to have more than a few seats. There's no question about that. The question is, how much damage is he going to do to the BJP?
That's the real question, isn't it?
And there the point is that the Chief Minister of Karnataka is a Lingayat, the BJP Chief Minister. So will that affect the community's vote, and will the BJP retain the Lingayat vote bank is an important thing. So far as the Modi factor is concerned, you have to check and see the situation in coastal Karnataka and in Bangalore city. If the Bangalore area and coastal Karnataka show a better than expected BJP turnout, then it means Modi has succeeded, otherwise not.
Okay.
Can I come in here?
Okay,
I think we are writing off Mr. Yedurappa a trifle in haste, because Yedurappa, according to me, seems to be a long-haul player in Karnataka. If 13 MLAs have left the party with him, a couple of MPs have left the party with him, he is the face of one of the elitist, most elite castes of that state. It's about 17% vote. I think Mr. Yedurappa cannot be written off just on the basis of one election, regardless of what performance he turns up this time. He is a long-haul player. He is there to stay. And I think that his Karnataka Janata Paksha,
very quickly,
his Karnataka Janata Paksha cannot be written off that easily.
We want to show our viewers the figures, of course, of the exit polls in about a couple of minutes. So very quickly, in 30 seconds, do tell us, is Yediyurappa going to be a spoiler at least for the BJP?
Oh, absolutely. There cannot be any doubt about that. As we have been saying on this show right from the beginning of this conversation, he is definitely going to steal the votes, take the votes away, especially of his caste, the Lingayats, from the BJP, and the BJP is definitely going to...
And that's why the BJP is going to get hurt, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It looks like that.
Totally. But very quickly, in 10 seconds, Dr. Sinha, the BJP is likely to be hurt in Karnataka more because of Yedurappa's exit or because of perceived misgovernance?
No, I think Yedurappa factor is very important factor for the BJP because he was a very popular leader. And at the last moment, you were expelling him to the party. The party could not get the time to contain him. But he will be like Kalyan Singh and Uma Bharti. Ultimately, Yedurappa would be reduced in the Karnataka politics.
Yes or no? In a yes or no? No. Should Yedurappa have been let to go by the BJP? Yes or no?
The party has done a very right decision.
You made the right decision, you feel. All right. Okay, I'll tell you what. We request all our guests to stay with us. We're going to take a very short break, 1.5 minutes. We come back then with the NewsX See Voter exit poll in Karnataka. The polls close at 6 o'clock. We have the exit poll results with us. In 1.5 minutes, we'll be right back. We'll tell you exactly who's faring how in Karnataka. We'll be right back with this very special exit poll.
D-Day for Karnataka. Day of reckoning for its politicians. Who will win the elections? Who will fall by the wayside? A panelist will tell you on NewsX debate at 9.
हुआ था मुझे लव एट फर्स्ट साइट पर कर दी उसने मेरी पॉकेट सुपर टाइट
रोज नहाया परफ्यूम भी लगाया फिर भी दे दी उसने किसी और को लव बाइट
Beyond the world of despair, destruction, distress, there exists a world of hope, courage, determination and inspiration.
मैं अपने देश को कुछ दे पाऊं ये अपने आप अपना सेल्फ डिफेंस कर पाएं
लड़कियों में बहुत सारा उत्साह है कि वो आगे बढ़ें देश का नाम रोशन करें
Because of Nirpal Singh only, a tragedy in Pinky's life have turned into happiness.
We bring to you a brighter side of news, the good news, every day on NewsX.
5 years of bringing you world sport. India left the World Cup. This is an incredible moment. 5 years of news, not noise.
Catch NewsX on various DTH platforms, cable networks. Get NewsX now.
इराक युद्ध हो या गुजरात का भूकंप, सुनामी की भयानक तबाही हो या सत्ता का सबसे बड़ा संकट, एक चेहरा जो रहा हर जगह मौजूद, एक चेहरा जो है खबरों का सबसे भरोसेमंद नाम, दीपक चौरसिया, अब इंडिया न्यूज पर।
Hello, welcome to the NewsX See Voter Exit Poll on Karnataka. This is where you'll get the most accurate assessment of how voters voted in the state, which party is going to be swept to power in a state once described as the BJP Southern Bastion, and who the state's new chief minister will be. I'm Jujar Singh, with me is Frank. He has all the exit poll data. We'll be giving that to you in 1 minute from now. Let's introduce our guests on the program. We have with us B.S. Gyan Desikan, Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress, Sudhanshu Mittal, leader of the BJP, C. Narayan Swamy, leader of the Janata Dal Secular, Rita Bahuguna Joshi, leader of the Congress, Professor Rajiv Gowda, leader of the Congress as well, Dr. Rakesh Sinha, RSS ideologue, Professor Madhav Nalapad, managing editor of the Sunday Guardian, Ajit Sahi, editor at large Tehelka, and Vinod Sharma, political editor, the Hindustan Times. Let's first of all get cracking with the NewsX See Voter Exit Poll. It's over to my colleague Frank. He has the vote share figures with him. Frank, you have the figures. Let's go for it.
Jujar, let's first take a look at the vote share and the vote swing, of course. If we can quickly pull those figures up right now and take a look at them. Here you have it, of course. In 2008, the BJP got 34% of the vote. The projection now, of course, is 25% and a swing of -9%. That's how the numbers are stacked up as far as the BJP is concerned. Clearly, numbers do not help the BJP at the moment, and this is what it looks like, at least for the time being, as far as the number game is concerned. Of course, let's now take a look at the Congress as well, if we can quickly pull up those figures as well. The Congress, of course, in 2008 was at 35%. Now the projection is 37% and a swing of +2%. So clearly, it looks like the Congress is sitting pretty right now, and our Congress guests on our panel right now, Jujar, will certainly have a smile on their faces. Let's now take a look at how the numbers are stacking up as far as the JDS is concerned. Of course, the JDS got 19% of the vote share in 2008, 5 years ago, of course. And in 2013, of course, the projection is 20%, a gain of just 1%. So it certainly looks like the water sharing issue that the JDS has been talking about and tom-tomming about over the last couple of months or so is really going to impact them or get them those votes. Let's now look at the KJP, of course, the other big player in Karnataka, and see how the KJP is going to fare. Of course, there was no KJP in 2008, so that is at 0%, and the projection, of course, is just 7% of the total vote share in Karnataka. So the Yeddy factor might not, of course, help him too much. Let's now take a look at how some of the others and the independents are going to do as far as 2013 are concerned. Of course, in 2008, others were at 12% or received 12% of the vote share. Projection, of course, is now 11%. -1 is what the others and independents, of course, stand at, and that's what the numbers look like at the moment, of course.
As far as the vote share in Karnataka is concerned, all right. We have a lot of questions, we have a lot of guests as well, so let's quickly revolve around all our guests. First of all, Sudhanshu Mittal from the BJP. Your party in 2008 got 34% of the vote share in Karnataka. Now you're down to 25%, a huge minus of 9%. What do you say to that, Sudhanshu? Very quickly, please.
You see, since it is a See Voter survey, I will not doubt the authenticity of it, because they have an incredible history. I mean, certainly if this is the truth, it will be disappointing. Nobody can defend this kind of a mandate. Now, it will certainly call for a lot of introspection. We'll have to really analyze and sit down what went wrong.
All right.
Why, as an administrative unit, it could not be governed.
Okay, you talk about introspection.
certainly
Ajit Sai, BJP is -9%. BSY, Yedurappa's KJP is gaining 7%. How much is there a direct correlation between the BJP's loss and BS Yedurappa party's gain?
I think that is self-evident. And of course, I must thank Mr. Mittal for saying good words about seawater, which was where I used to work, and they projected very accurately for the victory for Narendra Modi with NewsX. I think it's important to understand, as we've been talking for the last 2 hours here, that the BJP has been hurt very decisively by the exit of Mr. Yedurappa. Mr. Mittal has acknowledged it. Mr. Sinha has acknowledged it. It is definitely a factor. And Mr. Sinha earlier spoke about what happened with Kalyan Singh and Uma Bharti, that they were rendered irrelevant in state politics. And he says, which is what will happen with Yedurappa. I think the way both of them got back to the party, I think the party would want Yedurappa to be back in the BJP.
I'm going to do a quick correlation,
Jujar,
of what we predicted in our opinion poll as well. The BJP about a week ago was at -7 and is now at -9, and the Congress was at -2, and now of course it's at a +2 if I'm not wrong, of course. So it looks like
that's right.
It looks like both the KJP and the Congress too are benefiting at the same point in time, and that's what has changed over the week or so. Vinod Sharma, of course, the Congress was at 33% just a week ago, and now suddenly the Congress is at 37%. What seems to have changed?
Well, look, may I tell you one thing? Last elections, Congress had higher vote percentage than the BJP. Yet it had far less number of seats than the BJP. The Congress vote in Karnataka is evenly spread. Unlike the BJP of the time in 2008, where they had concentrated vote. For instance, in the Karnataka Bombay area, it was a concentrated vote. JDS has a concentrated vote in southern Karnataka, Dakshina Karnataka, old Mysore area. So that gives them higher number of seats. Despite this high projection of 37% vote percentage, I will keep my fingers crossed in terms of seat projection as to whether there would be proportional reflection in terms of seats.
It's a very interesting question. We'll be answering that in just a few minutes' time when we tell you how those vote shares will translate into seats in Karnataka. But Rita Bahuguna Joshi from the Congress, voters may be disappointed with the BJP, but there appears to be no wave in favor of your party either. Despite the BJP's troubles, the Congress appears to be gaining only 2% from the last time round in Karnataka.
Now let us understand one thing, that from 99 onwards you will very see that the Congress party has always had a very substantial vote share in Karnataka. All the assembly elections, they have been ranging between 35% to 41%, which means that their following there is very constant. Now with the unpopularity of the BJP government, the floating voters, we are just ignoring the independent candidates. The independents won 23 seats in 2004, and that dwindled to 6 in 2008 because they wanted Yedurappa to become the
but this
CM,
is not the issue.
and they went with them. These floating voters will play a very decisive role, Mrs.
Joshi.
And what I feel is,
but the point over here, Mrs. Joshi, the point over here, Mrs. Joshi, I'll just come back to the point over here. Let me put this to another Congress leader, Mr. Gyan Desikan. Mr. Gyan Desikan, Rita Bahuguna Joshi saying the Congress's vote share in Karnataka is constant. But what I'm saying is that a good performance? Because you are saying in the last 5 years, the BJP in Karnataka is beset with corruption, misgovernance, misunity. Why are you only gaining 2%?
No, this percentage and all on the exit poll, I don't take it on the face value. We have to see how much seats we win. Now, as far as Karnataka is concerned, I know that Congress constantly, Joshi is correct, Congress is constantly, they have a fixed vote shares, and throughout Karnataka, Congress presence is there. But BJP, not only a new phenomena in the southern part of this country, because Kerala, Andhra and Tamil Nadu, there is no existence for BJP, but Karnataka, there is a new phenomena, and people now, because of the bad governance, I don't think this 37% will be a correct figure. It will be more for Congress.
Well, this is what we are projecting, the NewsX voter exit poll, and let's also, we just come back to you again. Let's look at the other figure over here, the Janata Dal secular figure. 1 minute.
Floating voters will come to the Congress.
1 minute. Let's quickly go around because we have a lot of guests over here. Let's go to the Janata Dal Secular candidate on our representative rather on our show, Mr. Narayan Swamy. Mr. Narayan Swamy, the Janata Dal Secular in 2008 got 19% vote share. Now you're getting 20%. You're only gaining 1%. Why are you not able to expand your base in Karnataka?
We have comparatively improved our position in the state of Karnataka when compared to our election in 2008 with the
1%.
The projections in 2013. 1%. We expected it to be very higher than that. And however, as per the projections that we see here, we have only 1%. Taking it to be the
yeah, but you know, it could be because you've been focusing. How much do you think it... Oh, okay, I'll tell you what, 1 second. Let me put this to Professor Nalapat. How much, Professor Nalapat, could this be because the JDS is focusing a lot on farmers, but there's been rapid urbanization in Karnataka and they're failing to hang on or catch on to that constituency as well?
Well, I think that's an important point because a lot of projects, for example, have been held up because the opposition of the JDS. I mean, if you were to analyze these figures, my own guess would be that the minority vote this time has gone much more to the Congress party than the JDS. And that could explain the fact that the JDS has only improved marginally. The Congress would definitely have lost some vote share.
Can I say something?
They would have definitely lost some vote share because of misgovernance in Delhi. But that they seem to have made up. And the question is, how have they made up? Now, in my view, the minorities may have voted for Congress much more. So far as BJP is concerned, almost all of Yeddyurappa's 9% would have come from BJP, which means that 3/4 of the BJP's loss is because of the Yeddyurappa Lingayat factor and 1/4 on the governance factor. So I'm not really sure that governance has been such a big issue on this election for the BJP.
Okay, Ajit Sai, here's the interesting thing over here. What is important over here, Ajit, is that if you look at the vote share, BJP plus let me just repeat that. If you look at the vote share, the BJP and Yeddyurappa's party combined vote share is 32%. The Congress is 37%. In other words, how much is it that the BJP, with or without Yeddyurappa, was going to lose this election?
Well, it certainly became much easier for the BJP to lose this election with the exit of Yeddyurappa. You see, this is not a zero-sum game. It does appear to be a zero-sum game, but when you take out you know, a party, an important leader, a former chief minister, when he leaves the political party, then it is not just his own votes that he takes away from the party gets its overall image also dented. And there are a lot of other people also, other voters also, who start leaving that party, who start leaving, you know, start moving away from supporting that party. So it has a cascading effect, it has a cascading impact.
All right, I'll tell you what, we've been talking about the vote share. Now the NewsX voter seat projection. All those vote shares we're talking about, how will they translate? What are we predicting? How will it all translate into seats for the major players in Karnataka? It's back to Frank. Frank has those vital stats with him. It's all yours, Frank.
Yeah, let's take a look at that, of course. I'm sure our viewers have been waiting for these figures, of course, and patiently been waiting to see what exactly the seat share and change would look like. Of course, in 2008, the BJP, of course, secured 109 seats. Now, of course, the projection is that the BJP is only going to get 55 seats, minus 54. And the BJP clearly, of course, losing out on more than 50% of its seats. Of course, the Congress was at 80 in 2008 and 114 or 114 is the projection now. And, of course, that is a plus 34 seats. The JDS, of course, 28 seats in 2008, 34 now in 2013, plus 6. And, of course, the KJP is expected to get just more than 10 seats, that is about 11 seats. And of course, the others are slated to get 9 seats this time around. That's how the numbers stack up as far as these 2014 polls are concerned, of course. And if you look at the major gainer, it is indeed the Congress with plus 34.
All right, let's go to Dr. Rakesh Sinha. You're an ideologue of the RSS. Now, you helped the BJP to expand in Karnataka. You came to power in 2008, your first election victory in the South. It was supposed to be the gateway to the South for the BJP, but it looks like the experiment is over.
No, experiment is not over. You just see the BJP got 7.83% vote in 1983. Its growth rate is very even growth rate. It is raised to the 34% vote. I think the Yedurappa factor is there. Yedurappa has not deviated from ideology. It is deviation from values and morals. And once it is resurrected, the Yedurappa can come back into the party. Just like Kalyan.
You say that, but Yedurappa has...
Just to be complete, it is the phase of saffron joint family. Bharatiya Janata Party has to consolidate itself as in the national politics, and if it is necessary, Yedurappa will realize it. Sooner he realizes, it's better for him. Otherwise, he will be reduced to the politics.
What?
He will be loser in Karnataka politics.
Realize
not
what
the
you
BJP.
want Yedurappa to realize.
Yeah, BJP has a strong RSS cadres in the Karnataka. This election, he was a very popular leader. He left the party.
You want Yedurappa to come back to the BJP?
Let me complete.
You want, one second. Yes or no?
No.
Does the RSS want Yedurappa back in the BJP?
In politics, there is no question of yes and no.
Would you like him to?
Let me complete what I want to say. You can't put me yes and no in my mouth. Just let me see. BJP is a strong cadre-based party, but when Yedurappa left the party, he was a popular leader, so a large number of BJP cadres were confused. They went over there with the Yedurappa, but in long term, BJP is going to regain its support base and both the cadres.
It looks like you want Yedurappa to come back.
If necessary, Yedurappa, why not Yedurappa can come back? There is no ideological deviation.
There are several other leaders within the BJP too who have come out and said that Yedurappa should come back. Uma Bharti said it just a few days ago, and several other senior leaders
but the problem with this, Sudhanshu Mittal from the BJP, Sudhanshu, the problem is that you and other BJP leaders have been saying that Yedurappa, if he left, that is his problem. He was facing corruption allegations, and we did the right thing by letting him go from the party. But now, there's a division. Some of your colleagues are saying, we want him back. Now you decide. Is he corrupt? Is he good riddance to bad rubbish? Or do you want him back in the party?
Janjar, I think it's premature really to talk about all this. Let us concentrate on what is being projected by the...
Our seat projection and vote share showing that the major damage to the BJP in Karnataka this time is because of that one man, Yedurappa.
Agreed. Now, allow me to say that. You see, I had begun this debate by saying that the entire mandate this time would be vis-a-vis BJP. It's nothing to do with the Congress. And that gets validated in terms of the percentage of vote which the Congress is gaining over last time. My proposition was simple. People will judge us on two counts. On what is the discipline we inculcated in the Karnataka unit, what was the performance, and the issues of corruption. Further, last time I had said, Yedurappa would prove to be a vote kato party, which means he will cut into the BJP votes, and that is what is going to damage us. Now the findings have validated what I had anticipated. See, this election, everything else was irrelevant. The electorate looked at BJP and decided that, look, there was a large section of Lingayat vote which has backed Yedurappa, which was earlier with the BJP, and a substantial loss of 7 to 8% vote in this kind of an election would have adversely affected us. So what we are seeing
that's what we've been saying as well.
The upsurge of Congress.
Look,
it is a
Sudhanshu, Vinod Sharma wants to say something to you. Vinod, go ahead.
Yedurappa is a bigger factor than Modi in Karnataka. Because Modi has failed to charm the voters there.
That is too premature to say, Ms. Bhavana.
I'm so happy that this success
I beg to differ on that.
And he failed to charm the people of Karnataka.
Modi has been able to charm the people in Karnataka. We saw the resounding response that he got in Bangalore and Mysore when he went there and spoke.
He has not been able to charm. We will see the results. You can see it.
Modi can't charm in one meeting.
Let's see. The results will tell you.
So, may I say one thing?
Vinod Sharma.
We were on the issue of, I think that...
Then how do you always evaluate every election?
How fair is it to hold one man, Narendra Modi, who campaigned for one day, whatever the reasons for that,
because you
as being responsible for the BJP's likely loss in Vinod?
May I say one thing? I don't agree with all these predictions about Yedurappa. You see, Yedurappa is trying to reinvent himself now. Yedurappa in these elections called himself a secular man, a secular leader. He is trying to reinvent himself. He wants to become a latter-day S.R. Bommai. Bommai was a tall Lingayat leader who enjoyed the confidence of the minorities. But look, the irony is that he also wants to at the same time defeat the son of S.R. Bommai, who he brought into the party before the previous elections. So, Mr. Yedurappa, insofar as his current policy is concerned, betrays no indication to me that he is thinking of going back to the BJP. Now, BJP may have a fond hope of getting him back. But I think Yedurappa is going to stay the course. He is going to consolidate his party and he is going to reinvent himself because he is the only leader in Karnataka today who is a pan-Karnataka leader despite being a Lingayat.
Right. He's made that very clear as well. He has come out and said before the elections, Ajit Sai said, my main intention is to bring down the BJP. That's what I want to see.
Well, last year, at one point, he even praised Sonia Gandhi, about a year ago. So we have seen, exactly as Vinod said, we have seen him doing a lot of travels. He's been traveling a lot. He has, there is a marked difference between Kalyan Singh and Uma Bharti. When Kalyan Singh and Uma Bharti quit the BJP, they did not see such a breakdown of the party. So many people, so many MLAs, so many top level politicians of the party leave the BJP to go with either Kalyan Singh or with Uma Bharti. But in the case of Yedurappa, that we saw happening.
But Sahi, one more thing. Yedurappa does not carry the baggage which Kalyan Singh carried or Uma Bharti carried in 1992. Yedurappa in relative terms is going to be much more acceptable to other parties, non-BJP parties in the state.
But he carries the corruption baggage.
No, he does. But everybody carries the corruption baggage. Who doesn't carry the corruption baggage?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's. We showed you a little bit earlier on the seat projections in Karnataka. Frank now has the seat projection in terms of range. Let's just look at that. We debated after that. Frank.
Let's take a look at the seat range, of course, as far as these four main contenders are concerned. The BJP, of course, is projected to get about 51 to 59 seats. The Congress between 110 and 118. The JDS 31 to 37. KJP 9 to 13. And others, of course, 7 to 11. That's how it looks like. One thing is certainly clear, of course, that some of these smaller parties have been thrown out. For instance, Janardhan Reddy's close aide, Sriramulu, launched his own party as well. And that seems to be nowhere in the fray because all the others and independents combined are at 7 to 11. So it looks like some of the smaller players are not going to have any place in Karnataka.
And let's also talk about the Congress. Mr. Gyan Desikan from the Congress. If you look at the average of the seat projections, now in 2008, the Congress won 80 seats. Now we are projecting 114, which is plus 34. But the interesting thing is you're just maybe 1 or 2 seats above the halfway mark. And the margin of error in this exit poll is 3%. You're not quite comfortable yet, Mr. Gyan Desikan.
No, the percentage doesn't reflect the seats. That has happened in Tamil Nadu also. The percentage and the seats has no relevance at all.
No, I'm not saying that. Even our seat projection says you're only going to get 1 or 2 seats more than the halfway mark. In other words, it's not a comfortable majority. You might still fall a little bit short also.
No, we will get a comfortable majority. This exist poll and all is only a temporary phenomenon. We will get a majority, we will form the government on our own. That is my assessment. And 2 things I want to give an answer. This Yediyurappa, everybody is talking. The BJP's loss is because of Yediyurappa. They say he is a Lingayat leader. When you think that 9% vote, all Lingayat voted for him, therefore that is not the ground. The BJP has lost because of the misgovernance, corruption, and local judgment, all these things culminated in BJP's defeat. Therefore, don't say because Yediyurappa factor spoiled the BJP's chances. That is not correct.
No, but one thing, the Congress
is not correct.
The Congress should not celebrate beyond a point. Because if they form a government in Karnataka, there would be devolving a great responsibility on the Chief Minister to deliver in 2014, when the issues will be different, sir. The real test of the Congress party in Karnataka will be in 2014 as to how they perform in 2014. Because then national issues will be debated and it will be left upon the state government to smother the impact of the negative publicity.
Won't that be the case, Rita Bogana Joshi? Of course, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, if the Congress comes to power, will have to deliver.
2014 also, 2014 also you will see we will form the government.
Certainly.
2014 also, you don't worry, Congress will form the government in Delhi.
Okay. Let's talk about that at a different time. Of course, Rita Bahuguna Joshi, I understand that you have to leave. So before you leave, Rita Bahuguna Joshi, let me quickly come to you and ask you, of course, if the Congress falls short, of the seats, are you looking for an alliance maybe with a Yeddy with about 10 seats? If you say for instance, you get about 102 seats, then will you go with Yeddy and a couple of other independents?
They will go to anybody.
Look, we are assured of a comfortable majority, and if there is a shortage of 1 or 2 seats, then the High Command will decide where to get those people from. Maybe there are a lot of independents. Why are you ignoring the independents who will be winning and coming back? Because Karnataka has a good history of independents winning. Even in the worst scene like 2008, 6 independents had won. But as far as we are concerned, we feel a clear majority for the Congress is standing.
Sir, excuse me, we don't want to go to anyone.
Okay.
Joshiji.
Okay.
We don't want to go to anyone. We will form our government.
Professor Madhav
No, certainly. Why will we go to anyone? We will not. We will not. We are getting a
The exit poll is showing the Congress will get 1 or 2 seats above the halfway mark, but there's an error of 3% on the exit poll. Professor Nalapat, if the Congress was to fall short, okay, what would they prefer to do? Depending on how short they fall, go with independents, Yedurappa, JDS. What would they be thinking?
I'd like to take over from what Vinod was saying, that this is a battle. The war is going to be 2014, the national election. And I think the Congress is going to decide the situation in Karnataka with reference to the 2014 verdict. And in that, I would say, in my view, reaching out to Yeddyurappa may make sense for the Congress party in terms of social engineering, in terms of trying to broaden the base of their electorate.
Okay. And final question before we wrap this particular show, Vinod, Chief Minister candidates within the Congress, there's already a lot of jockeying going on. Front runners.
I think Mallikarjun Kharge could have been a formidable candidate, but he's opted himself out. I don't know whether he was serious or just being too good, too kind to the party. But I think that Siddaramaiah has been Deputy Chief Minister, and Siddaramaiah has a mass base. He's a backward caste leader, and Congress's mainstay.
But will the Congress leaders in Karnataka allow him to be the Chief Minister? Because
I was coming to that, sir. I am aware of the dissension within the party. Look, their main base was minorities, backwards and Dalits. Now, minorities, from amongst the minorities, I don't see a very formidable candidate there. But from amongst the Dalits, there is Mallikarjun Kharge, and from amongst the OBCs, there is Siddaramaiah. There is this Mr. Parameswaram also, I think it's the KPCC chief,
president, yes.
KPCC chief, who is a dagger's drawn with Siddaramaiah. But that issue will be settled in an area which is of dominance by Mr. Yedurappa. And I think in some ways, Yedurappa can decide the chief ministership by ensuring the defeat of either of the two.
Right, okay. All right. We've run out of time, but the NewsX voter exit poll, the basic important message is this. The Congress we are projecting is going to come back to power in Karnataka, but only just 1 or 2 seats above the halfway mark. Remember, there is a marginal error of 3% on the exit poll, so it could still be a little bit this way or that way, but the Congress clearly in the driving seat. From Frank and me, thanks for watching the exit poll. The analysis will continue after a very short break.